If you're in the real estate game like me, you know that clients can sometimes surprise you with questions that you may not know the answer to. In this video, I'd like to talk about 4 common questions that buyers are asking right now. It's no surprise when I say to you that this market has definitely shifted. What you may not have thought about, though, is that this circumstance shines a bright spotlight on the real estate practitioner's duty to not only better anticipate client questions, but also to gather the knowledge to answer those questions. We've all joked about no one having a crystal ball, and you might even get a laugh here and there over that response. However, the fundamental truth remains that it's our job to educate our clients to the absolute best of our ability. That's what being a professional means. With that in mind, here are a few questions I expect you'll be hearing from your buyers over the next year, along with recommendations on how to answer them. Buyer question number 1. How can I know if this is the right time to buy? A good initial response is usually the right time for who? The universal right time is a total myth because it's based on the premise that every person has the same thing going on in their life and finances at the same time as everyone else. The right time to buy for me may look totally different from the right time to buy for you. There's just no way to answer the question intelligently until you probe with some more questions. The first question to ask is about timing. How important is that client's timing? Do they need to move by a certain date? If yes, then the right time to buy is right now. Another is about finances. Having worked with many self-employed clients, I know they can have a big hurdle to overcome when obtaining a mortgage because their income is usually reported on 1099s, not on a W-2. For them, the right time to buy is probably after they've had a strong year or two of income on paper. I've also worked with investors where neither time nor money is an issue. In their case, it's best to determine which is the most important to them, the house or the price. From their answer, it'll be easy to determine when is the right time for them. Buyer question number 2. Will sellers continue to lower the price? The direct answer, it depends. Despite what the national news media harps about constantly, in most price ranges in this area, we are not seeing price declines at all. What we are seeing is a dramatic slowing of the appreciation rate, which is causing some listings to go on market with bad pricing advice. Instead of the 15 to 18% annual appreciation rate, it's slowed to just 2 to 3%. Some folks see this as proof positive that the sky is falling. Buyers can hear this and take it as gospel when in fact it's just not true. It's also critical to remember that we sometimes tend to mentally put all sellers into groups and forget that they are not all the same. The market is comprised of individual people with individual needs and individual circumstances. Some sellers may need to sell quickly because of an impending relocation, or maybe they've already bought another house. This can cause the price on that particular property to drop more quickly in comparison to others in the neighborhood. Some other seller may not have a pressing need at all to sell because they're just testing the market. That home may sit on the market for months on end without any price reductions or movement. It's all about that seller's motivations. We've been in the middle of an inflection point of our market over these past few months, meaning sellers who initially priced based on comparable sales that happened 6 months ago are working with bad information now. Hard conversations need to happen during such a time as this because sellers must lean more on lack of interest and lengthening days on market instead of just raw sales data. The bottom line on pricing is that comps over 45 days old are already out of date. Buyer question number 3, will the market crash? The words market crash have a different connotation for everyone, and unfortunately, I think we still have a great deal of fear instilled in us from 2008. My honest opinion is that we will not get back to a place anywhere comparable to the crash of '08. Of course, nobody has a crystal ball, but there's a tremendous amount of data to back me up on that. The 2008 crash was fueled by predatory lending, unregulated markets, and subprime mortgages, none of which exist today. There are just huge differences between the mortgage industry then and where it is today. Those differences led to the crash, not the natural swings of the real estate market. Truthfully, what we're currently experiencing is a direct result of the Federal Reserve's interest rate increases and, more importantly, the manner in which they inflicted them. Look, the consumer can stand high rates, the consumer can stand low rates. What the consumer cannot stand is uncertainty in rates. So when the Fed started jacking up the rates so fast, it just froze the market simply because every single investor, that would be the guys that buy the mortgage-backed securities, they all went deer in the headlights. waiting to see where the rates would land. Now that things seem to have stabilized a bit, the green shoots of the spring market are already showing. Which is a good segue to buyer question number 4. What is going to happen with interest rates? This is a really good time to educate yourself on how interest rates work and to use your knowledge about the broader financial markets to educate your clients. It's critical to understand that increases in the Fed funds rate does not necessarily mean mortgage rate increases. Explaining this means reiterating the mechanics of what determines mortgage rates to your client. You must understand this. Mortgage rates are set by bond prices, which in recent years have been determined by 2 things: the Fed's bond purchase program and inflation. Of course, this can raise other questions such as, what does it matter if the Fed hiking the funds rate isn't what drives mortgage rates higher? It seems they usually move in the same direction. What they're really asking is, does it really matter if it's correlation or causation? The answer is yes, very much so. And the current market is precisely why it's so important for you, the real estate expert, to understand and be able to clearly communicate these differences and mechanics to your clients. We are now in a phase where the Fed will continue to hike the funds rates, while mortgage rates have somewhat stabilized, and we've even seen them move just a little bit lower recently. The reasons behind this are key to those looking to capitalize on a real estate opportunity before the mass market sentiment pendulums back and demand picks up dramatically. It's your job to educate yourself so you can explain the cause and effects of what's going on and how it impacts each of your individual clients. Okay, we've covered just 4 general questions that we seem to hear consistently. At the end of the day, your clients will always surprise you with questions that you may not know the answer to, but it is your duty as a professional to be as educated, knowledgeable, and a credible resource for your clients. You owe it to your career and to your clients to learn all you can, and for heaven's sake, keep up with current information. It could be the difference between being a victim of this market or being a victor over it. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, let us know by hitting the like button below, and be sure to subscribe to the Benchmark YouTube channel for more great content. Thanks for watching.